Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise. Hope you guys are all doing really well. So anyway, this is our reading for USA politics, foreign relations, economy, health, and anything I might feel like zeroing in on. Sometimes they open a little can of worms. But anyway, this will be for February 20th through the 26th, 2022. Okay, let me drop the camera down. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, hold on, let me get this camera in line here. There we go. I'm going to use a kipper. Okay, so Ciro Marchetti's end of the century kipper, Fundicical, something like that. And I want to look into, because I haven't done it yet with any cards, well, other than on my live stream with Debbie and Lisa last Tuesday. But not all of you guys watch live streams. And I did a deep dive on Trump in his issue, well, astrologically. There's a video there as far as his finances, pretty much Trump's finances and legal issues that I saw coming up astrologically. But, you know, with astrology, you're seeing the transits, and the trends and movements through the natal chart, but you're seeing possibilities, like areas that are going to be problems. I could definitely see he's going to be in court a lot. I could always see in his natal chart that he was not going to be reelected, and I do not believe he will ever be reelected again. But I haven't used the cards yet to see particularly how things are going to go for him financially, because that's the only way to get him. He just, he doesn't care about anything other than his money, because his complete identity, self-identity is tied up in money. So I want to see, since Mazars has his accountants, his accountancy firm for the last 10 years has, or more, it has cut him off. Basically, they can't say that any of the records that he has given them over the last 10 years has been reliable. So there could be loans called back. There's the possibility that hotel in Washington, that he can't, sell the lease on that. There's all types of financial issues, I think. So I'm going to use the cards. I'm thinking I could fit, let me see, can I even fit 3 rows? Not really. What I could do, though, I'll do 2 rows of 7, and let's see his future, his financial future. The truth as to his financial future, now that Mazars has cut him off. And then after this, I think I'll look at his court case in New York. Okay, so financial future for Donald John Trump. We could say Trump Organization. And you guys know which cards I tag for, his kids or adult spawn. Ugh. Okay. Oops. And 14, okay. And I'm going to take the 2 off the bottom. Oh my goodness, look what was right on the bottom. Wow. So at the base of everything is him probably having to explain himself to this adjudication card is my investigation card. It has to do with going before you have a demand to go before either a judge or court, but we have the courthouse card too. My goodness. Wow. This to me is more like IRS tax issues, tax fraud, bank fraud. And that's the thing to keep in mind with Pluto and Capricorn. It's not just politicians that are going to be falling apart and things are revealed, exposed, just everything has been bubbling up and will continue for another couple years. But the deal is Capricorn rules banks and anyone who handles money. Mortgage lenders, so we're talking like Deutsche Bank. We're talking, this card could even stand in for like forensic accounting. And then with the courthouse here, we have the documents to prove it. Wow. And of course, this makes sense, right? He's going to have to answer for all the documents, loans, all the ways that he's abused these institutions, these financial institutions. And how they've abused too, because one thing that did come through clearly with Debbie and Lisa when we were reading is that Mazars is just, we all felt that that the top guy, Debbie, tuned into a man, but we all felt that firm also, launders money for, Russia, the mafia, drug cartel. Okay, so this is just Trump. Hold on. Oh, actually, I'm going to have to do this. What am I thinking? I forget. These cards are almost tarot size. Okay, I don't know who this supportive woman is here, but this could just be financial support. Okay, we'll see. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's the fraud. There's the money given. So how this is going to go for him because of Mazars. And there he is right there, and he's on the bottom with no control over this, the subpoenas, the investigations. Just remember, we have these two cards here that were on the bottom of the deck. Goodness. Documents, all communications here. Okay, so with our theme here, of course, these are subpoenas. The message of concern card is it's a sad news card. Nobody wants to get whatever's come through, whatever this message is. No one wants it. It's something that's really painful, usually. And oh my gosh. It's also my card of psychological problems, and that's right above him. So all of these cards right around him that are touching him are clues as to how he will be affected. And I'm going to say the psychological affect on him, which is AFFECT. A lot of times I've put that in my titles about him, and people would email me or comment that that's not how you spell affect. Well, when it comes to psychological issues, that is how you spell that word. So anyway, psychological problems deeply affecting and affecting him. And that's the movement. So, whoa. He's on a journey. He's on a soul journey There is a movement, a big movement of sad news coming towards him. Who was it? Somebody in our live stream said that there were over 500,000 documents, over 500,000 documents that was released to was it released to the state of New York from Mazars? I think so, or Mazars, however you pronounce it. Somehow or another, there's some institution that has a lot of documents, right? And that would back up these two cards as well. Goodness. Okay, so that's hanging over him. So he's feeling down. It's affecting him in big ways. And this might not be a woman. You know, these people cards do not have to actually be people, except for, you know, when you get the main male or female, it's pretty hard to not figure it's the person you're reading on, right? But the mature woman could be someone who, this could be an attorney. This could be Letitia James, which would bring in the whole New York thing. But this could also be a forensic accountant type of a person who has worked really hard. I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I just know that this, if it's a person, she's above him, touching, you know, so touching his card. So she's above him with power over him, whoever this person, if it's a person. If it's not a person, could just be things that support. And, you know, because think of like moms and grandmas, they help grow things, they help support the family. But the support here is coming from this like plethora of documents, right? Documents here to blend all these together and bring it down onto him. So I really feel like this isn't anybody supporting him. I feel like it's somebody supporting the, you know, the issue. Right, because this is the issue of tax fraud, bank fraud, insurance fraud, and him devaluing his property. So it's all tied together with devaluing or inflating, whichever, you know. This is all tied together with Letitia James and the New York cases against him. Or maybe it's just one case. I thought there was two, though. But anyway, bottom line is they've been working on this since, you know, like 2020, like, because it was Eric, even though none of the kids came through here, but or adult spawn, I should say. Eric had to show up, had to do his deposition about I think it was in the fall somewhere of 2020, and they were saying that he pled the fifth, you know, said no comment or whatever, over 500 times. So that's all weighing down on him. Yeah, they can plead the fifth. They can all do that. But that doesn't bode well when people do that, you know, because it can just it can be interpreted by law that there's something to hide. And they're saying on the news when it comes to civic trials that that's not the way, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the way to do it. That makes it much, much more challenging as far as guilt goes. So anyway, wow. Oh, thank God for chopsticks. I can scratch my ankles inside my Ugg boots. Sorry. Anyway, digression there. So, yeah, man. So this huge movement of documents that are he doesn't want this coming through, but they are the actual proof that Letitia James has been working hard on for a long time, and that's surrounding him. So there's something new, and then maybe this would be the card to stand in for all of his adult children. There is that possibility. Because knighting up here, let's see. Yeah, because she's coming down on all of them, actually. The whole, Trump organization. And this false person up here, we of course, we know that this is our lies, deceit, dishonest person, right? It's a lot like the fox in the Lenormand. And so the lies as to what money does actually come in. But then, these two cards to me, there's a lot of money laundering here, right? Because it's the movement of money that was brought in. This could end up blowing open. This could end up blowing open like Deutsche Bank and Mazars together, the whole, with the Paradise Papers, or I'm sorry, Pandora? Yeah, right, it was first the Panama, then the Paradise, now it's the Pandora Papers, right? Most recently, those three enormous investigations into money laundering and dirty, just hidden money all over the world. All over the world. And I did hear recently that in England they are cracking down. They're cracking down on, at least they're saying that they're cracking down on hidden money. So if they are, they need to, because it implicates the monarchy itself. They need to do that. The fact that it hasn't been done all these years, in America here, we're stuck with these two, we have to get both parties agree, in agreement to do anything, to get anything done, or enough, a majority, and it's ridiculous that it's gone on this long here too. But in the UK, as much as I love my UK members, you're holding the light there in your country. We're talking 1,200 years of who knows what happened, right? So, but anyway, to not take too long on this little spiel with Flump, he has poverty hanging over him. I don't know that he would ever be destitute, but he certainly could be if he's mulling over right here. We can see this is what I read directionally, so he's looking at this, okay? And this is sneaking up behind him. And I don't know that I don't think he doesn't know that it's coming in, because he's constantly thinking about all the documents, all records. They could have been recorded many times, and whatever new evidence that's coming in behind him, he's worried about that, because he's headed this way. Now, he's probably trying to also, because I read in, different layers or levels, whatever you want to call it, besides, the banking situation, he's going crazy thinking, how can I work to keep things quiet? And this is my OCD card, like where you can't think about anything else, and it's a card of depression. And notice what cards knight him up here. Poverty. He's worried about that, and he's worried about the gifts that he's received in the past from all these different sources, because of course we know he's been part of a transnational money laundering crime ring since he inherited the business over from his dad. One of my awesome viewers here put in a really, was it Mike? Was it Mike or maybe Charles? or maybe Isabel. My goodness, I'm sorry, you guys. I can't remember everyone. You're so brilliant. But this one comment was about going back to 1968 when Trump was old enough to jump in and be a part of the business with his dad. So he's known all of this. He knows what he's guilty of. Well, he knows how he's fundamentally controlled his business. So, and stolen from his other, finagled the trust, his estate, the trust, to block out his, his cousins. And yeah, Mary Trump's on that. I don't know if there'll be anything left for her to get, but, So anyway, he's just depressed, mulling it over, worried about being broke. And what could cause that would be to have his assets seized, even though those cards didn't come through. But I'm sure that if I did a big grand tableau on this, we would see that. We would see, exactly what's coming down the line. But how this is affecting him is that it's probably been hanging over him for, well, of course it's been hanging over him for a very, very long time. This can be a card of at least 2 years. Well, we're almost approaching 2 years ago that Eric Trump Eric Trump did his deposition. All right. So, and that means that it would be well over, I would think, over 2 years that they've been looking into him, because it takes time to get to that place. Where they're bringing in people, and we know that they're bringing in, the January 6th committee is bringing in Rudy, and then we know that they're working their way up the food chain, and nobody's closer to Trump than Rudy. He's been his personal attorney for years and years and years and years, and then other attorneys as well. So, anyway, let's see. So, yeah, I feel like the Mazars and the case from the New York State, it's all tied together. Yeah, so reading the bookends, like reading this way, mirroring. So here's our theme. He's really, really concerned. He's down. He's sad. He's depressed. But now this mirroring technique, so we'll read these two cards together. This has to do with deception and fraud. This would be fraud that's happened for a long, long, long time. And many gifts that have come through. To me, this is all about money laundering here, this movement, this money laundering, and that support of the money laundering situation is what all of these cards mirroring each other speak to. Because money laundering is built on the backs of people who do not have the means to rebel. So we're talking, slave trading. We're talking, human trafficking, basically. Right? We've got human trafficking here. And then, yeah, but these two cards to me, so reading in layers, yeah, human trafficking, but also that he's been involved with, yeah, but also that he's worried about being broke. Whether a person's conscious of it or not, deep, 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 deep down in every soul, completely unconscious in his part, I would think in his case, is that place where we know what we've done and we're worried that it's going to come through for us. Like the what do you call, like the karmic, repercussions can come, we all have that place where, whether we're conscious of it or not, we're living in fear that our hatred towards others comes back to us. That's why fear and hatred go together. So deep, deep down, there's this hatred of others, which is a mirror to our, his own self-hatred. And then on top of that hatred is the fear that it will come back because he knows deep down he deserves it. So that's just another little side note. So now mirroring with this row here, this marriage card is any bonds. He's worried that any bonds that he's had with others is now broken, of course. This is the poverty. But also that they're going to come forward. He's worried about who's going to... It's like that song I kept hearing, I don't want to do your dirty work no more, from Steely Dan. Same thing. It's all... Yeah, they're all flipping on him because they need to save their own it's not CYOA, it's more like save, SYOA. Save your own damn ass, right? That's what they're dealing with. And he's, like these cards are explaining here, he's mostly depressed and concerned and mulling over what proof they have, and he knows it's out there. And he also, I think, is worried that all of his children could flip on him, or that like I said before, there's something new that can come through about his work ethics in the past and how it ties to money laundering as well. So he's in there thinking, what else can come through? Because he knows what he's done. He absolutely knows what he's done. Okay. Quickly, let's bring this into Letitia James and that Supreme Court. This judge, I don't remember his name, but it was weird when I saw it. It kind of looked like what's that guy's name in Egypt? Erdogan. His name was kind of spelled like Erdogan, but that definitely wasn't it at all. But when I looked at it, it kind of reminded me too of like something out of, Lord of the Rings. Anyway, but he's the thing that I grabbed my eyes at. He's a Supreme Court judge for the state of New York, and he ruled that Don Jr. and Ivanka and the former guy, which is not what I really call him, but anyway, that they have to not only turn over any documents, but they're also going to have to testify. Now, yeah, of course, they can plead the fifth, but it won't go well for them if they do that. And of course, this is all about how they valued their assets. So that's happening. That is happening. So how's that going to go for him? Okay. And them. How's that going to go for Trump org and the kids? 3, 4. I'll take the 2 off the bottom again. Woo! Look at that. They are really, really, really worried that they're going to end up having to... Hopefully this is about making license plates in a prison, although it would probably be club fed. But then again, maybe they're worried about having to, because I've always gotten with the kids, is that they're thinking they have to get away to another country, and they're constantly thinking about that. And think of Don Jr. with his 5 kids, with a very wealthy ex-wife who can just take over and take them, and I'm sure they'd be better off. But that's got to be painful somehow with him. There we go, with the money coming in, lots of money, and it's coming in there. Wow, poverty's hanging over them and their reputation. This card is like a Trump Tower card as well, because it's called high honor, but it also rules like tall buildings. Community. Whoa, unexpected income, great fortune. This to have the poverty card touching great fortune, and to have a community hanging over, this completely negates his wealth, their wealth. Whoa, official person, there she came through again. So this has to be Letitia James. And there's the kids. Okay, or there are the kids. Okay, so again, with our theme, we have that movement of what? The movement of what? The movement of, it's going to show the movement of money, and the money laundering is what I'm getting again. Wow. They have something. They have something more than what we're seeing right now on the news. Okay, but here's the theme. So this long journey card is, of course, movement, progress. It's the journey of the soul, but what it's leaving behind, because I read directionally, so what's being left behind is financial support. The mature man has to do with financial support, and it's leaving behind wealth that comes in that he doesn't have to work for. So again, this is our money laundering. Oops, hold on. I'm looking up and realizing these cards are cut off. Sorry about that. Okay. And so the gift, so gifts and sudden wealth. We have all four of the money cards here. So gifts and sudden wealth, you don't have to work for. This one you deserve because you've worked hard for it. And it's hanging right, it's right below his, like Trump Towers, but also his reputation. He is going to be seen, how this is going to affect him is he's going to be seen as the guy that's always been in debt and really never had all that money that they thought that he had, which is why so many people voted for him. God, we knew it from the get-go, but whatever. So, and then here's the somebody giving you money for doing something for them. There's going to be a community of people that want to save their butts, and they will be explaining. So, yeah, wow. So they can Fifth Amendment themselves right into oblivion, but people are going to, a community of people are going to be explaining what they know. And yeah, he's got that coming, right? He earned that. He's earned, and Trump organization, they've earned all the problems that are coming down on them. Wow. Now the Lover's card is really just about people that have come together in a successful way, and but it's a card of loyalty too. So loyalty to what? Well, I don't know that the loyalty is going to be there anymore because of the poverty. But again, this is the loyalty of using his hotels as a means to, in ways and as a means to launder money. And the people who are connected, right, to that could be what this community card is about. Wow, this community of money launderers. And here we have the rules and regulations. This is a card of obligations. It's a card of having to take responsibility. Wow. So notice I don't have the imprisonment card. This is Letitia James. With the rules and regulations, she's gonna get them. Because remember, she's always, her motto has been no one's above the law, and she's holding up, she's holding up to that. There's support there for her as well. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so mirroring here, I think there's a community of gifts that are going to be coming in to break these things apart. I feel like with his children, with his kids, we're going to see how they've amassed their fortune by just receiving money from Trump org, but then it's all leveraged out too, right? With loans. Yeah, it's it's these two cards at the bottom, because even mirroring, it's like, okay, yeah, the rules and regs are coming down on them, and there's this they're going to see how they've earned their money on the backs of, again, all this money laundering and human trafficking, drugs, all that stuff, okay, so, but anyway, this is what's at the bottom, right? You put these three cards together and we have human trafficking, we have all of that. We have money laundering, we have violence, wars, we're talking like, arms being sold, because this is a card of violence. It can be a card of like suicide as well, because it's the worst card in the deck. Wow. So this is how it's going to affect the Trump family, the Trump crime family. Okay, I think I'm done with all things Trump, unless something comes through in one of the other readings. Otherwise, I'm just going to let that go. Goodness. Okay, and then, so let's see. I had this deck out. What did I want to use this deck for? Oh, I was thinking to use it for Trump with, you know what, I feel like I'd rather use it. Okay, so it is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. Comes in a really big box with this book, and, it's nice if you like it. But the cards are really big. If you get it, I colored the edges myself a long time ago, but anyway, let's look at, I don't want to use this deck for Ukraine and Biden or anything like that. Let's look at, well, yeah, let's look at our health. Let's look at our health and our economy. I mean, yes, of course, now our economy is tied to, if we have to support Ukraine in some way financially, I mean, more than what we already have, that is definitely going to affect our economy. But if we don't do anything, it's like it's a really challenging situation where if we don't do anything about it, if it comes to that point, what could happen is, gas prices can go way, way, way up, and that's a problem. We should not be dependent. This is a problem. We should not be dependent on Russian oil. We need renewables. It needs to be primarily renewable resources for our cars, trucks, and all of that. But it's, it's a slow getting there. really slow with the GOP. But anyway, okay, so let's look at our health and economy. USA's health and economy. And of course, you know, we're all in this together with all of these countries, right? We're in it with Canada and everywhere. We're just, yeah. Okay. And even though I think it's, I don't know if it's totally over, but that Canadian reading from last week where Biden was up here, he did get involved and tried to, and the Ukraine reading for last week, they were protected for that week, but we have to look at next week. So far those readings were right on. But let's see how it goes. Hold on. I don't usually read jumpers. I don't feel like reading jumpers. Okay. Maybe my body's telling me, read jumpers. What do we need to know to protect ourselves health-wise? How's the USA health and economy going to go? Just for this next week. Okay. So let me take the 2 off the bottom, set them aside. Okay, so the forces, primary forces in motion, 3 of Wands. It's overseas. Our greatest challenge for this week, King of Coins. And then I'll do 5 cards, just free form. What else do we need to know? And I'm not reading reversals with this deck because of the way it's created. It's very, very, it's one of those decks that are very matter of fact, and even if you didn't know what the cards meant, oh darn it, I dropped one over there. Even if you didn't know what the cards meant, you could just go with the images. And I might hold the images up for you, or hold the cards up so you can see the artwork. Okay, what do we have here? Ah, yeah. Oh, shoot, we have the Tower. 7 of Swords Tower, oh my goodness. Okay, so our first card, the forces in motion. Yeah, it's what I was talking about before. Okay. With the 3 of Wands, this is my overseas card, and we have snow. This has to be Ukraine. This has to be Ukraine. What else could it be? Okay. And then with our greatest challenge here, being the King of Coins, this is excellent for finances when it's, and straight up, and it's that, that we're in that realm of being like the master of our domain type of thing. It's all about abundance and wealth and being a healthy provider and taking care of ourselves. But when it comes through in the challenge position, I read it as a reversal. So then that brings us into corruption and instability and somebody else controlling something, and they're not being faithful, to the cause. So this is a problem. This is Putin. This King of Coins reversed, that's Putin. Even though I think he's a Libra, but whatever. He's a little tyrant, that's who he is. And then we have the 7 of Swords. Somebody's getting away with something. This, to me, on one level has to do with all the governors in these states, which, Oregon is included, in California, where our governors, even though they seem to have been good in the past, they've decided to pull out the mask mandates and, minimize restrictions. So I'm going with this little guy here, is like, please protect me. This little kid is what I'm feeling there. Like, please protect me. And meanwhile, they're just thinking about the money and what they can get or how they can ease up those restrictions. But meanwhile, we've got a broken window back here. We have 2 broken windows back there. Keep your masks on is what I want to say about that. And that, because that came through so strongly in my members only readings, both with astrology and I think I used the Lenormand. I got it so strongly that we cannot let go of our own self-protection. And the Tower straight up is telling me that on one level it can be good when we break through to that place where we are the ones that are in control, right? We are the ones who, it's like, it's not the government, it's not anybody telling you do this. We have to take self-responsibility for our own health. But things are gonna, this next week, this could be Ukraine, this could be something happening, and I'll read on that separately. I'll use the Lenormand and get that clearly if it is or not. Our issue is to not be apathetic. Don't just let the government tell you what to do or how to be. Don't shoot. I mean, we're coming up on spring break. So anyway, so mask mandates. Don't go all apathetic about it. This Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles. It has to do with our investments and how we're, you just work hard every day, and you're in that place of being patient and planning, making good plans, achieving, goals that you've put out in the future, or, you've had in your mind, and because you can see how she's kind of like looking forward to the future, and yeah, she's paid for her work and her hard work there, and there's this loyalty. But she's looking further into the future. Okay, like this is established, and she might be wondering, like, maybe I need to charge more. This could be about inflation, right? And because it's also included here with the Nine of Swords, which is, that's our nightmare type of reality situation. Man. See the intense images, man? There's like a razor blade around her neck. Yikes. Wow. Even the doggy's like, hey. So these 2 cards to me speak to, don't worry so much about money, that we're going to eke through this time together. We're going to eke through it just fine. But also, well, the bigger message to me feels like if we get sick, we go backwards. If we get sick, even though we've been vaccinated, and what about the people that can't be vaccinated? What about protecting them? But bottom line is, if we get sick, even though if we're vaccinated we don't go to the hospital, we're still going to be down for a week or maybe 2 or even 3. And like, how does that affect our finances, right? So this looking forward to the future so that we do not create a nightmare situation is how these cards read to me. And this card is all about don't be apathetic. Make sure you get enough water, right? And, the astrological transits were because the Mercury square Uranus for most of the week brought in that element to me. I just thought of like, make sure you get enough water because you could be so busy that you forget. So make sure you take good care of yourself. But the Four of Cups, traditionally it's my card about needing to meditate, sometimes feeling stuck. And of course you can see in the images, it's like refusing offers of help and support. So I think that this is speaking to the fact that we need to support each other. Support each other and try to keep things stable. I don't like having the Tower card there at all. On a spiritual level, I like it in the fact that, you know, you're breaking through to your real self and your false self is left behind. But I'm not reading on the spiritual level. That will come in our, you know, in our next reading for us. I'll do, but this has to do with, you know, our health and economy. So be careful. Just be careful. And also, this could speak to how much, you know, we've been having problems with people like carjacking and stealing and all of that. So be careful that way too. Be very safe. Okay, but this does speak to Ukraine. So what was on the bottom? Okay, the King of Wands and the Page of Coins. Okay. So this could be that the energy is going to be moving very quickly. That's what the King of Wands is traditionally about. And moving quickly, but then also there could be some good news as to little ways to make money. New studies, new breakthroughs in health could come through. This could have to do with good news coming forward, but it's the King of Wands, so it's more about, no, I was thinking at first it was a Knight, but it's a King of Wands. So this could be about stabilizing in a place of maybe some good news comes out. You know, they have been talking about those mucosal vaccines, that they're not meant to be, you know, like the only vaccine, but it's like once you're vaccinated and you have your your 2 vaccines, then this would be something. So India's working on it, Canada's working on it, USA is working on it at Yale University, I guess. They're leading the study on it, but it's like a nasal vaccine that would like boost the protection, because it would coat all of the airways. And it could be, they're like, imagine having that, and you're going to go out in public, you could use that and then maybe get away without a mask, or maybe use your mask too and just know that you're completely protected, because it would just completely obliterate the spread of any infection that was in the air. So we need that. We definitely need that. So this looks to me like work on that, all these like little ways of working for protection. Because the coins, to me, Pentacles coins, they're always about the body. So, okay, so that kind of feels complete. Let me double check on, let me use this little deck. It's maybe Lenormand by Ryan Edward. Let me use it quickly to check into Ukraine. Is there going to be a problem this next week in Ukraine? Or how's this going to go? Is Putin going to back down? It just doesn't seem like he is. All he's lying. He's lying, and he's trying to get away with it. And he's trying to control the whole situation. But let's see, how's it going to go in Ukraine? Okay. And if the Man card comes through, that's my Biden card. I'm going to take the 2 off the bottom. 21, there we go. Okay, so we're going to have 3 rows of 7. Okay. Oh, that could be, well, let's see. That's the institution of our government. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's right, okay. I forgot, these cards are really tiny. Although, need as much room at the bottom as possible. Okay. Oh, shoot. Well, okay. So the first few cards opening up the reading with this, it's like the Reverie card. Used to be my card for super spreader events, but it's about celebrating. And then there's this money that's falling out. So this could be other nations, along with the our USA, that are gathering together. NATO-backed nations. This could even be the NATO card itself, because we're talking about something. The tower in the Lenormand is its strength. It has to do with institutions coming together and boundaries, right? It's the authority in charge. And it's over this broken mirror, and then here's our conflict card here. This would be like a war itself. But having the mouse card here, means that it can be minimized. The conflict can be minimized. This little card, I feel like, could be Putin, because it's usually short people with round faces. And it's impulsive. I feel this is Putin, and he's minimized. I like that. And there's so important. The rose can be seductive, but it's also an attraction to dealing with the problem. Oh, this is reminding me of I forgot. I was having weird dreams last night of this deck, and this card was Putin. I totally forgot about that till just now. Yeah, okay, so the seduction for him is broken open. He's down here at the bottom without any control. That's actually good news. And then notice how the fox, which would be him, as well, or his actions, because the fox in the Lenormand is something's wrong, you got to be careful, watch your back. It's like a backstabber, It's someone with a hidden agenda, someone who's a liar, just a constant liar, This is him. The flowers have to do with recovery, possibly, but it can also be a surprise, like a surprise attack. Here's how I'm reading it. Because this is knighting over here, 1 up and 2 over, or 2 over and 1 up, either way. This is him, and something's broken apart. There's a burden he can't get out from under. I think he might be trying something, but I don't see it as being successful. Of course, he's lying, saying they've made up all kinds of false information and propaganda. And that's, that's the new war. It's the war of it's disinformation warfare. And yeah, disinformation warfare. But something's broken open. There's a lot of money thrown at the situation from all these NATO countries. Even though Ukraine isn't a part of NATO, and that's been one of the ways they've been trying to protect themselves, because Putin has said if they become a part of NATO, then their history, whatever. But I don't see that working anymore for him. Okay, so the four corners are: there's a commitment of, this is so weird. Oh. If I just go with some of the weird, like the basic keywords, there could be a commitment of parties, forget about partying, but a commitment of parties that have the common goal, and they come together that to create something, to create an end to this old problem and the secrets. There's a lot of secrets that could be revealed. Yeah, the book can be opened to reveal the secrets that Putin's... Yeah, that's right. See, that's the thing. And then the change. Okay, that's the thing, is that even though there's this complicated situation, even though this is literally an enemy card, the important thing to see is that it's going to be ending. It's going to be ending. I don't think his attack will be successful. And things are, his power has been minimized already, because these other countries do not like this at all. And it's really complicated. It's very complicated to get into NATO for Ukraine or any country to get into NATO. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't protect our. Well, shoot, I don't think Putin cares about sanctions, but I feel like he's swimming in a world of complicated emotions. And he thinks he knows what he's doing, but he's not. This is like... I don't think his elderly years are treating him kindly, physically. Wow. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I've got Putin over here. I've got complicated things up here. Complicated changes. Man, these two together, wow. So the burden is all this complicated, the biggest burden is Putin's complicated seduction to try and get the change that he wants. But the secrets are going to be revealed. So there's going to be some secrets that come out. There will be more secrets that come out about his disinformation warfare. Yeah, it'll be coming out to the public. A lot will be coming out to the public. Okay, let's do it a different way. Let's do this a different way. Not with as many cards, and not even with this deck. Let's use this deck. Let's use Archie McPhee's super awesome fortune, future, whatever cards. All right. 10 cards. How's this going to go for Putin next week? Or soon thereafter? maybe this will be the last week I have to read on this Ukraine issue. And I wouldn't keep reading on it if it, you know, I mean, of course I care about the people of Ukraine, but we have to remember, you know, we're in that sad, stupid situation. It should never have been that way, but we are in that situation where Russian oil can, and OPEC, you know, all of that can truly affect our economy. Shouldn't be that way, but it is, and we have to accept that. We can't be apathetic about that. Man, Putin is, his eyes are darting all over the place. He's twitching. Whoa. Man. It's, I feel like he holds it together. He holds it together in, you know, in these meetings, but then he's all over the place later on. Wow. All right, how's it going to go for Putin? And in regards to this Ukraine issue, or him personally, I don't care. And the two on the bottom. An infinite amount of documents, I suppose. This could be like the letter of the law of some type. Okay. Let's make some room here. My chopsticks. Okay. Here's the moon again. That's interesting. Moon. This would be strength. This is kind of like the strength card in the tarot. And there we have him throwing flames. And the rats in the house. Ugh. Oh, secrets. That's like that book card we had. Cat lady, that's him being selfish. Because remember, this whole thing's about Putin. Selfish happiness types of, like, I don't know, Leave It to Beaver Days is what that card always reminds me of. Ugh. I say yuck because I see, like, you know, milk. Ugh. I hate milk. Okay, so his happiness is dependent on him controlling everyone. The house card has to do with like assets and real estate. It's safety. It's a safety. It's like the foundation of a person's safety. But the rats are getting in. And yeah, his happiness is tied to money, right? I mean, this is all like money laundering. But to have this card come through here, so this feels to me like the oligarchs, right? And they want safety. This to me feels like him. Yikes. So with the moon, it can be a cycle. We just had the full moon. Maybe this card is trying to say that it might be a full cycle of, because, you know, I always have to go with the images. We have all the phases, the 8 phases of the moon here. So maybe we have to get to like the next full moon before this is complete and totally broken open. But I don't see this as going well for him, because some secrets are going to come out. Yeah, about how is he really that strong is the deal. Is he really that strong? he's as strong as the money that can flow to him, but other people are in control and they don't like what he's doing. So this, of course, the oligarchs, there's he's involved in a power play, in just a psychotic kind of selfish power play, because maybe he's bored, right? We are dealing with a sick individual. And he's not going to like looking in the mirror later, because, we've got cats here. But this is the worst card in the deck as far as your, your future, because everything's broken apart. It's like a fractured reality of what you thought you had. And this could be, at the bottom of the deck, this infinite amount of communications that come through to him from other people. You can look at it sideways or straight up, but I feel like this is a card of power and how you manage your power or not, right? Do you end up eating your own ass because you're out of control with your power? Of course he is, right? So other people in power are going to be pulling the strings, and I feel like they're communicating with each other, right? Let me draw a few more cards. Hold on. Still have the deck right here. Let's do that. Let's draw a few more cards. Well, yeah, because the secrets are going to break him open. But it might be more than this week. Yeah, what he wished for. What he wished for is the important thing, okay? But it's going to unlock what? That's the attack? Okay, oh shoot, now I have to keep going. That's the attack on Ukraine. So he really wants to attack Ukraine, but he likes playing this little game of making everybody, well, he just wants their land. That's news and the movement of news. And this is his broken heart. Because remember, this whole thing's about him. So I think what I'm getting here is that the misinformation warfare that he's engaged in will continue to come out. I don't see him winning or this being good for him. So whoever's, would this be like because he would be the king card, would this be his wife? Is he married, or his girlfriend? Whatever, right? Ooh. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, he's physically not doing well. And yeah, he's a greedy pig. He's a greedy pig, and the past is going to continue to keep coming up. And of course, this is Russia itself, but it's Russia protection. This is the oligarchs. Does he have the protection anymore? Well, maybe. Well, they're going to cover their own, assets. Yeah, no. Shoot. You guys, this is an assassination card. Whoa. I don't know how long it's going to take that he could possibly be assassinated. Wow. Yeah, because how else do you stop a dictator, right? Yikes. Okay. So is there anything else I should check into? This is a really long reading. You know what? I'll close this up, and then I'll leave it to you guys. Go ahead and comment if you have any other questions, and then I'll either get to them next week or in between. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the USA's Pluto return reading. But once that's done, I will have so much more spare time. I've been working so hard preparing for that. So, but anyway, sending you lots of love, big hugs, and take good care.